In the shadowy corners of Soviet-era folklore, where stories of dread took root in whispers and alleyways, one legend rose above all others in chilling prominence. It wasn't a monster with claws, nor a ghost that haunted old homes. It was a car, a sleek black automobile, silent, menacing, and almost always fatal. It was known simply as the Black Volga. The tale begins somewhere in the 1960s or 1970s, depending on who tells it. Across Eastern Europe, from the frostbitten streets of Moscow to the dusky alleys of Warsaw, people began reporting strange sightings. A black Gaz 21 Volga, an otherwise unremarkable Soviet car, was seen idling in schoolyards, creeping through quiet neighborhoods, or vanishing around corners with impossible speed. It always appeared polished, pristine, almost too clean for the soot-covered cities it prowled. And more often than not, it came with death in its wake. Children were the first to go missing, innocent, trusting, and unaware of the danger. The legend says the car would pull up alongside them, a door would creak open, and they'd be gone, vanished without a trace. Some claimed the windows were tinted so dark no one could see inside. Others said you could sometimes catch a glimpse of the driver, a tall man in a black coat, wearing a wide-brimmed hat, or no face at all. The authorities never found any proof. But that didn't stop the panic from spreading. Parents warned their children to run if they ever saw a black car stop nearby. In some towns, people began vandalizing Volgas out of sheer fear. It didn't matter who owned them. If it was black, it was cursed. But the story didn't end with kidnappings. Oh no. The Black Volga was said to be far worse than a mere vehicle for abduction. Some whispers spoke of supernatural powers. The car could vanish into thin air, pass through walls, or teleport between cities. Others believed it was a tool of the KGB or secret police, used to make dissidents disappear without a trace. In that version of the tale, the Black Volga wasn't just a myth. It was a government ghost, omnipresent, untraceable, and deadly. Still others claimed the Volga was cursed, possessed by a demon, perhaps, or driven by the devil himself. One story tells of a priest who attempted to bless a parked Volga, only for the car to suddenly lurch forward and crush him. Another version speaks of a girl who dared to peek inside when the door opened. Her eyes turned black, and she was never the same again. But perhaps the most unsettling variant of the tale is this. In some stories, the Black Volga doesn't just kill or kidnap, it offers a deal. A man walking home from work sees the car stop beside him. The window rolls down without a sound. Inside sits a stranger with unnaturally pale skin. "Make a wish," the driver says, his voice hollow, like a wind through a crypt. The man, confused, stammers out something trivial. Maybe he wishes for wealth, or a better job, or revenge. The driver nods, and the man wakes up the next morning with exactly what he asked for. But the cost always comes due. A week later, his wife falls ill. His child disappears. His home burns down under strange circumstances. No one connects it to the wish until it's too late. Then, one night, the Black Volga returns. This time, the man gets in, and he's never seen again. Skeptics say it's all urban legend, nothing more than a Soviet-era ghost story born from paranoia and control. After all, the 60s and 70s were times of great fear. Surveillance, secret arrests, disappearances in the night. Maybe the Black Volga was a metaphor, a symbol of a system that could take you at any time, for any reason. But there are problems with that theory. For one, the sightings never stopped. Even into the 90s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, reports of the Black Volga continued. A teacher in Belarus claimed to see it parked outside her school, engine idling, no driver inside. A mechanic in Ukraine swore he found a Volga abandoned in a junkyard, with no VIN number and doors that wouldn't open no matter what tools he used. Then there are the videos, grainy, shaky clips uploaded in the early 2000s, blurry images of a black car moving faster than anything should be able to, and then vanishing. And it's not just Eastern Europe anymore. Reports have surfaced in Western countries, Germany, Italy, even the UK. Always the same pattern, a sleek black Volga where it shouldn't be. No license plates, no driver. And if you look away for even a second, it's gone. Some theorists believe the car isn't a car at all, but an entity, a shapeshifter, perhaps, a manifestation of dread, changing forms depending on the fears of the era. In the Soviet times, it was a car because that represented status, secrecy, and surveillance. In modern times, maybe it's something else. But if that's true, then what does the Black Volga represent now? There's also a disturbing connection between sightings and missing persons reports. In multiple towns where the Volga was supposedly spotted, people, especially children, disappeared around the same time. Authorities rarely connect the dots. And why would they? What government would admit to chasing a ghost on four wheels? What makes the Black Volga story truly disturbing is that, unlike many urban legends, it doesn't rely on a single event. There's no original sighting to trace it back to. It seems to have emerged from the shadows fully formed, like a nightmare we all suddenly remembered. Different countries have slightly different versions, but the core is the same. A black car, mysterious driver, disappearances, and silence. And then there's the sound. Several witnesses have reported hearing something before the Volga appears. Not an engine, not footsteps, but a soft ringing, like a school bell, or a child's laughter, warped and distant. Then the temperature drops. Animals grow uneasy. Shadows stretch too long. And then, headlights. By the time you realize what's happening, it's too late. So, what is the Black Volga? A myth? A cover story? A demon hiding behind the wheel? Or is it something worse? Something that feeds on fear, adapting through the decades to remain just real enough to keep us looking over our shoulders. One thing is certain. If you're ever walking alone and you hear a soft ringing in the distance and see a gleaming black car at the end of the road, don't look inside. Don't listen to what the driver says. And whatever you do, don't get in. Because once you do, there's no coming back. Next time, we head deep into the dark forests of Germany, where a massive, hollow-eyed bird waits for children who don't sleep. It doesn't sing, it screams. Meet the Nachtkrab, the demon bird that feeds on fear.